In a world where space and time are intertwined, one man dared to challenge the status quo. His name? Dayton Miller. His weapon of choice? A flute. But not just any flute. This instrument held the power to unleash the ether, a pervasive medium once thought to fill the universe. Miller, a physicist by trade, a musician at heart, discovered a harmonic resonance within the ether. He found that his flute, when played with precision, could manipulate this elusive medium. His melodies, a symphony of science, had the potential to shift the very fabric of reality. However, a sinister force lurked in the shadows. The Einsteinian demons. These creatures thrived in the distortion of space-time, causing chaos and disruption. The world needed a hero, and Miller was ready to answer the call. With his flute in hand, Miller played a tune that echoed through the cosmos. Each note, a shot of pure ether, struck the Einsteinian demons, dispelling them back into the void. The world was saved, not by a warrior, but by a musician, a scientist, a man with a flute. Remember, in this universe of wonder and mystery, sometimes the most unlikely heroes make the biggest impact. Keep your mind open, your heart brave, and who knows, you might just find the ether within yourself. So here's to Dayton Miller, the flute ether master. His melody still resonates, a testament to the power of harmony in a chaotic world. In a world where space and time are intertwined, one man dared to challenge the status quo. His name? Dayton Miller. His weapon of choice? A flute. But not just any flute. This instrument held the power to unleash the ether, a pervasive medium once thought to fill the universe. Miller, a physicist by trade, a musician at heart, discovered a harmonic resonance within the ether. He found that his flute, when played with precision, could manipulate this elusive medium. His melodies, a symphony of science, had the potential to shift the very fabric of reality. However, a sinister force lurked in the shadows. The Einsteinian demons.
All right,
hello.
Oops, one second. I can hear myself for some reason. All right, 1 second, technical difficulties. Why can I hear myself? Make any sense? All right.
Yo, how we doing?
Yo. Trying to figure out why I'm echo.
You're fine to me.
Yeah, it's completely on my end.
This sounds like a me problem. I have an echo of me somewhere. Nope, I got it. We're good. Tagged it. Yo, having me as co-host. I think I have like a bunch of people blocked.
Testing.
Oop, now you're echoing for me again.
Wait, now I'm echoing for you.
Yep.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Is it just me? What do you guys think?
Yeah, my problem's fixed, so now it's a you issue. God bless.
Mr. Galley?
What up? What was the question? I can barely hear you, bro.
Oh, crap. It's me.
Oh, but no, my
No
volume
echo.
was down. Yeah.
What happened was Twitter immediately went tinny for me and echoey. You know how it does that? So that's
So you're
cool.
saying the problem is you. Okay.
Yes. That is what that determines. So let's do this. Let's see. No, I can't do that. I can't not hear you guys in real time because then I can't interact. I'll be talking on a delay. All right. So, dude, I think if you bring me down and up again, it fixes it, but only temporarily, and ultimately it just returns to this. I think I'm just gonna have everyone be tinny.
Yeah. Looking
Did you say
good.
that I was low, mister, that you can't hear me? Because that
Well,
shouldn't
no,
happen.
that was my bad because my volume was down. So you're good. You sound good now.
Because I specifically got a program to combat Twitter always taking over my mic and lowering it. So it shouldn't happen for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Speaking
you're
in real
good.
quick, Shane.
Yo, okay, do you doing a prez, or are we just inviting Glovers up here to beat on? I mean, ask questions politely or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, if people show up or whatever for that, like, yeah, but this will be more for, like, putting out
I
information
think
for
we
the
should probably ask JT
information
why
for
all
the
his friends
community.
are fighting with each other.
It's pretty rough.
Yo, what's up, JT?
Hey, I'm at the theater with the kids, so I can't really talk, but I'll listen for a little bit. I don't know why I grabbed a mic other than to say I love you.
Nice.
Nice.
Galatrax is super jealous. I think what you meant to say was, I love you, Galatrax, because that's what he heard, I think.
That's good.
I actually heard him exclude Galatrax from his message.
Did you?
Yeah, he was like, everyone up here is cool except for Galatrax.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
I denounce the lies. Too many of them going around.
And that's from the president, right? So,
yeah. Unlucky. But yeah, we're definitely going to touch on some important key factors of Flat Earth tonight. Some pivotal arguments. Primarily coordinate systems and maps.
nice. My favorite thing. It's like one of the most abused, misunderstood, weaponized misunderstandings I've ever seen, right? Like, how do you weaponize a misunderstanding? Well, get a bunch of people to co-misunderstand with you, and then you go represent things that it doesn't mean, right?
Oh, dude.
Things that it doesn't.
Was someone talking right before Shane?
Alan, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't hear Alan. I gotta drop down.
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh,
Look, can you hear me?
yeah, Shane, were you just talking to yourself there? Then what the?
No, he was talking about maps and coordinate systems right before he started speaking. I was talking about what we kind of want to talk about tonight, and then, like, obviously, it's community space, but we want to put out some information about maps and coordinate systems that's very pivotal to what's being discussed right now. And then Shane was laying out the weaponization of maps and coordinate systems.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought I couldn't hear someone.
Yeah, no, I found it was coherent, and your question was confusing.
I might have to go because, Alan, I was listening to you talk with Austin from the Melodome, and I almost finished the episode. I need to go see how the last like 20 or 15 minutes goes.
Yeah, well, spoiler alert, I think that the data he presented represents exactly what they've backwards derived into the heliocentric model and their assertions. I think that it's, very easy to show that there's that wagon
Wow.
wheel wobble to it.
Mm-hmm.
He demonstrated it pretty well. I think the last 20 minutes, he showed like a different diagram. I don't know if you've seen, that's probably where you haven't seen yet, but yeah, he shows an even better diagram of how it's moving with arrows, and that makes it very clear. So it's again, but that's like a, that's kinematics, right? So the sun could have an axial tilt and rotation. It could be perceived as a sphere. All of that motion would be, relative to the sun with respect to stationary Earth. So all of that motion that it's doing, that's how we would perceive it if it were a sphere rotating.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. And then one more thing before I go. I was watching Jaren's stream. He's live now, and he showed a video of a rocket that took off, and it took a long time. I think like 40 seconds or 50 seconds before it came in view to somebody that was like 270 miles away. And I was pondering, like the rocket, when it's on ground level, it has a limit to its vision if it was a person, like an azimuthal grid of vision. But as it rockets up, wouldn't its dome of vision expand as it gains altitude? Wouldn't it be a larger grid of vision? And so if somebody's 270 miles away, it would take it a while for it to come into the vision or the perspective of the person 270 away, right?
You're saying for the person to see the rocket.
Yeah, I'll explain it again. So the guy's like 270 miles away, and he timed it like backwards, timed it because he could see when the rocket,
Oh,
the flame went
yeah,
out for
yeah, yeah,
separation. And
yeah,
so
yeah. I got you.
basically,
Yes,
he's making the idea that it's way behind the curve, but in reality of plain Earth, it would just take it a while for it to come into the vision of the person 270 way, not because it's hidden behind the curve, but
yes,
because it's hidden behind optics and perspective and the vanishing point.
yes.
So you have to see that one because it's like it seems like, oh man, that's cool. But when you understand everything is
Yeah,
optics, you know?
yeah.
Anyway, you'll have to
No,
check that one out later.
no, exactly. You got to think about like the timing for that to be perceived uh in your dome of vision, right? With because it has to be at a certain altitude before you're going to start to see it based off of its distance to you. And yeah, it's going to take time for it to get to that height for you to see it at that angle.
Yeah, bro. It's just funny because I've never thought about that before. Because you got guy at 270 miles away, and whenever the rocket takes off, and let's say it's 100 or even 500 feet up in the air, you're not going to see it yet. It's going to
Right.
have to take longer. Yeah, it's pretty awesome idea.
No,
That's not
that's
a win for
dude,
globe Earth. That's like it's like
no,
a crazy
that's
demonstration mind screw for flat Earth, but it's
well,
it's
dude,
it is what it is.
that's like a mini fractal of the sun angles during the equinoxes, right? It's being projected into your dome of vision, and it also corresponds to a GP position, and it has to be in your dome of vision at a certain elevation for you to perceive it in the first place. So that's that's what creates the discrepancy there.
Yeah, but so
Yeah.
using the same math from 6 foot observer, you can see 3 miles using that square root of the observer height in feet, 1.22 times square root of the, using that same geometry or the same equivalent radius criterion optics at 1,000 feet. I think it'd be like 38 miles. At like 10 miles up, that's like 281 miles. At 100 miles, it's like 900 miles, which would be crazy, right? But doing the same sort of geometric math and the same equivalent optics, that would be the scale, I think. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Uh I wouldn't imagine that going to altitude would like the scaling would change it so that it's all of a sudden going to be different, right? I think it would scale proportional.
Well, it does though, right? It's because that's the distance to the horizon. So if we're losing it for 3 miles when you're right at the surface, right, and that's the same geometric approximation for Earth curve, or as it would, the horizon at 6 foot if you're looking out into a flat plane. But like using the same scaling factor would mean that the distance to the horizon would be 281 miles at like 52,000 feet.
Well, I'm gonna dip out, but I think it'd be cool to do some tests where you have rockets or something that's bright, real bright, and you can shoot them up at set distances, and you can know how fast it's going, and you can tell right when it comes into your vision. I mean, it's just like another test of how optics work. So the idea that Jaron, I guess, was proposing is like globe, but the answer no is optics, and it's gonna be cool to maybe do tests like that one day. But I gotta run. Y'all keep on crushing.
Later,
Thank you,
JT.
Mr. President.
So wait, Shane, you're
Peace.
saying that at altitude that scaling relationship's not going to be the same?
That is the scaling relationship, right? The distance to the horizon is dependent on observer height. So by going higher up, you can see further. That's the same principle, right? It's the same scaling factor.
Oh yeah, so we're in agreement then. The way that you said it
Yeah.
sounded like like I said, like okay, never mind.
No, No, I felt like I was agreeing, but maybe I didn't sound that way. But I was immediately interested in what he was proposing because I was like, oh, what would it be super high up? So I immediately asked AI what it would be like at those three intervals because I wanted the scale, and I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense because you don't really think about it at like say plane altitude. What would your azimuthal grid of vision cover at plane altitude? Right, considerable. I
Right.
think
Well, you know,
like
they can do, I'll have to find it, but I have the traverse tables for uh cell nav in a plane at like 20,000 feet, I think.
nice. We could
Like
probably ratio that against the speed of light and get a ratio of the actual distance that it was going.
yeah, ratio it against the speed of light.
Isn't that how you determine all distances in the world or something? Or the
Yeah.
speeds?
Yeah. So walk me through that real quick. Is it they made the speed of light relative to 39 inches? You said 39.1 inches.
Well, no. Like so they tied the unit of measurement to essentially the nautical mile, which is like an arc minute, right? Which is a unit of a circle, and then they tied that to a specific metric of a coordinate system, and it's the coordinate system, not the Earth, because it's a terrestrial meridian, which is the distance from the North Pole to the equator on a theoretical sphere, and it's the actual distance on the graticule using the gridded long lat system is the only place where you can get a terrestrial meridian in reality. And it's, the only way you can calculate it is using the purported 69 miles per degree, which used to be like the Roman mile would be like 1,000 paces or, based on the measure of a foot. So it's all just based on ratios until they made it a ratio of a terrestrial meridian. So 1/10 millionth of that distance of 6214 is 1.00007. So when they say its definition is 1/10 millionth of a ratio of the distance from the North Pole to the equator on a theoretical sphere based on the coordinate system, that's what the meter is, right? So when they say actually later we'll recontextualize that, I think it's like 1/299,678,000 something, 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 and they say, "Oh, look, now it's a ratio of a speed of light," and it's like, yeah, but 1/10 million times 6,214 is still 1.007, and so just because they historically recontextualize the thing that they theoretically ratioed it against doesn't change the original metric from which it was derived, right? So they claim to have measured this terrestrial meridian using geodetic surveying, so they claim to calculate and measure something that can only be previously known because when you're geodetic surveying, you're comparing to previous models. The first time they did it, they had a known ellipsoid model. So what they're doing is confirming something by already knowing it. Very perplexing logically that. So then when they have that actual metric length, what they just calculated from, the distance of 69 miles per degree anyway, once they had that, then they ratioed it against the meter and then historically recontextualized it all through history as different things, including like length of a palladium bar or something. And then finally, now it's a ratio of a speed of light, but the actual measurement of conversion of length of, that 1/10 millionth of a terrestrial meridian or 39.37 English inches, which is 1.007 meters. Always been the same, always been a proportion of the ratio of the coordinate system itself.
Wow. So that kind of explains why you can use the latitude longitude system to find distances to locations because
Yep.
the distances are actually a fraction of the coordinate system itself.
Yeah, so like the law of cosine to get distances is what we do, right? Which is basic trig, which is lateral, which means the distance is a flat baseline. So it's an interesting move to make all measurements, the distance measurements based on, cosining to stars and then getting under that zenith and based on the stellar precession of 69 miles per degree roughly as you go, or 69 miles, the heavens precess 1 degree to ratio that as a unit of a measurement of a thing that can only exist on a sphere, and then say you can only calculate it by using linear trig is an interesting conundrum, dude. I thought it's kind of reminiscent of the stuff that they pull all the time, inverting things.
Yeah, the old bait and switch. I was actually talking to Blitz about that, and I sent him all of the relevant citations for that, for those conversions, for the units of measurement being a fraction of the terrestrial meridian. And his argument was, how come I can get in my car and drive this distance that's in reference to the thing? And I'm like, because you don't know your history and you won't acknowledge that units of measurement or a ratio of the coordinate system you're using. And he's like, history is irrelevant. Dude.
To be fair, though, they don't actually like know that, right? There's no straight line distance that would be the equivalent of a cosine approximation to a star. There's no road that'll approximate the absolute linear estimation of 69 miles per degree, right? So when you go to actually measure it, when you're measuring the revolutions of your car, and you're gonna gauge based on the speed, you're gonna determine a distance that's calculated based on revolutions per minute and a basic equation, and then you're gonna compare that to what? To Google Earth, to the map, to the GPS system from which you were gonna do it in the first place. And you're like, I mean, no, or am I missing something? Because there's nothing else to compare that to. And I think if you're going to be measuring it in feet and inches and ratios of a meter in the first place, I mean, from which you interesting, they made like things that you specifically measure it linearly on a flat plane cosining, and they just used it as, you know, everything is from a spherical coordinate system, because things like the Haver sign and nautical miles, all that works because it's tied to the coordinate system, right? Whenever you're cosigning or signing based on angles to the stars and using basic trig, you're doing math to get back to the prescribed coordinate system, always and forever, right?
Always and forever. Forever, ever. Yo. I sent out a couple of mics to everyone. Sempu, definitely want to congratulate you on your ether hypothesis that came to fruition recently. That was pretty awesome. And see my boy Brian Sweet down there. And here's Mr. Xavier. We got to get a logic analysis in tonight. Yo, what's up, Taylor? We'll start off with Taylor. She is armed and dangerous, guys. So go ahead.
So I'm getting the drift that you guys think the Earth is flat. Can somebody please explain that to me?
Yeah, so it turns out when you base your worldview and cosmology on a spherical coordinate system, you can be led into different interpretations of things, since the coordinate system itself is based off of purely the sky and not the ground. So it can be a little misleading and cause you to think that, you know, maybe that the coordinate system itself represents the shape of the ground, which would be kind of crazy. But if you go to established measurements of the ground, what you'll find is that they're always in comparison to the stars, and all we have is a map of the stars, and that's all that's being referenced. So to determine what the correct interpretation of the coordinate system is, you would have to introduce some mutually exclusive proofs that involve geometric properties of a sphere versus a plane, and how the functionality would go, where the difference between the two projections really would be how celestial bodies behave when there's a physical obstruction of curvature, right? So for example, you would have shadow sets would be different. So we've all heard that sunsets don't work on a flat earth. Well, a shadow set would be completely different. Objects casting shadows would cast shadows higher than the objects themselves, and then there would be an abrupt end of the shadow that would sweep across the land at 15 degrees per hour, a hard cutoff point. But what we actually see, if you have a window or some structures facing west as the sun sets, the objects casting the shadows never exceed the height of the shadow of the object itself. And what happens is, as the shadow climbs up the wall or whatever it's casting the shadow on, it'll start to slow down, which is not indicative of a celestial body being physically obscured at a hard 15 degree per hour rate. It's indicative of a celestial body always being above the horizon and moving away from you. So that's a huge one right there to start off with for the distinctions.
To me, must be false. Cause like honestly, like common sense just tells me, like I just wake up in the morning and I'm like, the first thing I think is like, oh my gosh, we must be flying at 1,000,000 miles per hour. and we must be on a spinning space rock. And that's just like what common sense tells me, you know? So because I can't understand your premise, that just can't be true.
Yeah, I
What common
prefer.
sense tells you that you're on a flat stationary plane? Like, what tells you that when you wake up in the morning and look outside?
Well,
Anything?
yeah, when you look out, um, an equilateral triangle of 1 kilometer has an angular excess of 0.002 arc seconds in it. So you'll never even perceive any curvature. You're always flat. Start with.
I just can't understand that. If I wasn't indoctrinated, then I would think that we're just on a rock flying through space. I mean, that's just what common sense would tell you, and anything else is just saying that.
Well, I know. Oh no, now I'm echoing. Rip. Oh wait, no wait, I'm good.
Why would they lie?
All right, settle down, kiddo.
Settle
No.
down,
Why
Taylor.
would they lie?
Settle
Why
down,
would they
Taylor.
lie? Why would they lie?
All right.
Yeah,
just
great,
don't
pretty
understand
good
scale.
joke.
What's up, Ryan?
What's up? You just don't understand scales, Taylor. Once you understand scale, you'll realize that you're an insignificant piece of dust on a blue marble, flying through the universe, stuck in the corner of the galaxy that God forgot about.
Well, listen, you might think that listen, if you didn't know that you weren't sailing through the galaxy, chasing the sun at 66,000 miles an hour, chasing another through the Milky Way galaxy, which chasing like a black hole at ridiculous speeds, but like you don't understand relativity. So if you did understand relativity, you understand why everything's fine, and you don't have to worry about it.
Dude, speaking of relativity tonight, all of the relativist lads, all the Aries lads, all the Earth motion lads, dude, you guys should try and send them our way tonight because we're definitely going to go over the conclusion to Aries failure, the ongoing saga that lasted, what, it's been like 4 months now.
Where's Hap at? Are you going to point to the part where
he tried to hat me out tonight, dog.
Oh.
Yeah, we're definitely going to go over his sad misinterpretation, and if he would like to come up, obviously a mic will be extended.
God. Oh, so how does that work with me blocking everyone though? All those people that you like talking to, I have blocked.
You would just have to unblock Hap. I don't care about the other people.
Yeah.
Or I could not be co-host when they were here. What do you think? That seems easier, or do I have to unblock them?
No, we'll figure it out.
The downside of blocking people is it makes it tough to be a co-host or a host, and actually have someone show up.
Well, how about it makes it easy for like not douchebags to show up though? Right?
I didn't say it was a bad plan. I just said it makes it because I'm totally with you on that, man. The only reason I unblocked them is because they were too happy that I blocked them. I was like, "Fuck you, then." Now
no regrets, Brian. I will gladly step down and defend my choices or whatever.
I have a question. How come you guys censored Taylor when she was asking?
It's like
questions like why would they lie?
Regrets. Why does your mic auto suck on Twitter when it was awesome on Discord? What happened to you, dude?
This is my laptop. It does it on both my laptop and my PC. I don't know.
He's Lou Gehrig all of a sudden.
Oh, it's so annoying. It hurts, dude. It's like one left side mono thing. All right, whatever. All right, keep going.
Wait, why would that be the case on like 2 different computers?
So bad.
Yeah, it's Wiss, dude, but not as bad as it could be. But anyway, Brian, seen you holding it down in the streets during the week, bro.
Got to do it, man.
How to do it for the lads. What up, Ken?
What up? I figured since Taylor had so many questions, I'd have one for her. When is she going to come to EtherCause and do a presentation on abiogenesis and biology, and tell us about how it's indicative of a creator and impossible for evolution.
Ooh.
Yeah, I actually talked to Dr. Blitz about that today, and I don't think he would ever post it. Turned
No,
out.
so I think the way to fix that, Ken, is to have someone that Taylor doesn't know pose as a glober at a specified time where we record it and have them angrily assert that biogenesis is gay and retarded and that obviously we come from space dust while Taylor was around. And then she will absolutely engage vigorously, and that will be the
Yes.
thing that we'll have to do. So we'll have to trap her into it, I think. What do you guys think?
I could do a presentation potentially.
Yes,
Could you? Nice.
I
please.
could, maybe. I didn't know y'all wanted stuff like that.
Yes.
What?
What?
We literally do it every week and talk about it constantly, and you're always all right. It's fine. It's fine.
They like live for this stuff.
I thought it was just for space. Oh, my
I
little
think she's
buddy.
trying to say she can't. I think she's trying to say she can't take a hint.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll work on that.
Nice. Social
Nice.
shaming the truth. I love it, dude. Excellent.
But yeah, Galatrax had a really important question.
I know. I
But
wish we could
it's
hear it. I
cool.
feel like I wanted to listen to what he
Oh,
was saying, but then he went absolute audio garbage, and I couldn't hear anything.
yeah, Gally, can you type out your question in Discord?
Did anybody catch me and Dr. Blitz's convo today? Anybody? They're like frozen. Someone else not working right now.
Did
I'm
you
not typing.
advertise it?
Did
Chill out.
anybody see it? I mean, not necessarily. I told the people on Discord I was going.
Chill out. I'll tell you a secret of the community, right? If you're ever on a thing and you do a good job and you wish someone would clip it, right? If you just send a message to JT, the president of Flat Earth, it will ultimately eventually get done. And if anything, he'll pass it off to someone who can do it, and he will definitely mark it down. So like he's been the archiver behind the scenes. At least take a note of a timestamp and a place and send it to JT.
Dope. Yeah, I thought it was being streamed on YouTube, but then I don't think it actually was. But it was
Oh
freaking
well, then
awesome,
it's
dude.
gone. Then it's gone forever. I assumed it was
Gone
streamed somewhere.
forever.
Yeah,
It's
sorry.
totally
Wait,
cool.
why would he talk to you and not does he not record his streams?
I think he might, but I don't think he would post this one.
Would have to specifically unpost it.
I don't know.
Were you that devastating? That he would have to
I mean,
unpost
it was
you?
pretty embarrassing in the biology part. Like he got destroyed because he was trying to
Okay.
posit
All
that
right.
silicone could make protocells, but actually it was just positing a way that we can make membranes that aren't even effective because if you actually had those membranes being made, you would have no transmembrane proteins in order to bring things inside of the outside and outside of the cell, essentially killing. Because if you actually had, he posited to solve the issue of early life. So it's hilarious.
Damn. Taylor's
Nice.
not only dashing dreams in flat Earth, he's killing it in the biology field too.
Oh yeah.
Shitting on retarded evolution and stupid theories that things come from nothing and burst out of everything all at once. Like that's really a better battle, and I respect her for fighting it.
Yeah, and he posits like the circular universe, like kind of where there's like a big bang cycle. And I was like telling him, like, not only are there problems with like entropy, but that would like be like an infinite regression paradox where you never actually have the cause to the effect. And then the last time I talked to him, he was like, there's no such thing as an infinite regression paradox. That's just something Christians use. And then I'm like, I came back today and I was like, what do you mean? Like, it's literally here in the Stanford Encyclopedia. And you're gonna sit here and say creationists just invented it? It was funny. So I got him to concede on that because he totally lied about that. Like infinite regression, like there's no cause to the universe. It just keeps cycling and cycling. And there's no actual mover to the effect that we are here, like the fact that the universe is here. So he's like, that just doesn't exist. And I'm like, okay. It's literally in the philosophy books that students study at school. It's literally in the Stanford Encyclopedia. And you're going to sit here and say it doesn't exist? It was so funny. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to
maybe
have
he
to like
believed it.
record it next time.
Yeah. Also, whenever you do that, we can also be recording from this end, which is the safer bet.
Yeah, it'd be dope.
I mean, like you watch us do it all the time. I don't know why you wouldn't be like, "Hey guys,
I
I'm
wish we
going
could
in
like,
or whatever."
yeah. I wish we could like play videos in here because I would like give like a presentation right now. I'm like, abiogenesis is
I
freaking hilarious.
mean, if you can screen share it on Discord, we can put it on here.
But you can't put it on here. You have to have like an iPhone.
No,
I
no,
mean,
sure.
Man,
Just the
apparently you
audio.
can do lives on here too or something. That's pretty cool.
You can if you have an iPhone.
We're gonna have
Shout
to
out to
buy.
Apple.
We're gonna have to buy iPhones. Don't you shout out?
Shout out
Don't you do it, Xavier? Don't you do
You
it?
won't let me get it out. That was just gonna
Censor
sound out
him.
for Shane.
You Android guys right now are sweating bullets.
Dude, I was embarrassed to say it earlier. Taylor was pressing me. She was like, "You don't have an iPhone?" I was like, "No." I was suddenly not proud of my Android. It really hurt. Made me feel uncomfortable.
Man, I don't know if I have an extra one. I already forked one out for Sacred, so I have a couple that I do research on. I have like data on, but maybe there's a way I can like transfer the data onto a different one, and like it's really risky though, because like for research you have to submit all the equipment that you use to record data. So that'd be the only thing. Like whenever you get your PhD, they get asked like basically audit everything. Even the phones you use to record data. That's crazy. And so I have these like extra iPhones, but yeah, it'd be dope if we could do that for Flat Earth Fridays. I can see what I can do. I can see it have an extra one.
Nice.
I think on TikTok you don't have to have an iPhone to stream.
Well, TikTok's tough. We're definitely attacking TikTok as well. But today we're attacking X or whatever. I think, did you title it "Open Discussion" or did you something provide? No, it should have been something provocative to entice people to come challenge us on
I
ether.
couldn't think of anything provocative.
But no evidence
Dude.
for globe. Bring your
All
proof.
physics is ether physics. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, oh yeah, I think I could swing that.
Where you at?
Instantly.
Where's
Dude,
Happy at?
Yeah, instantly someone like Hap would be like, "Nah, no." But so that's the urge you want to inspire.
Weren't they looking for the ether?
Like, let me confidently quote Wikipedia or something,
Yep. What's up, Lily?
Hello. How is everyone?
Hey, Liliana.
Doing well. How you
How are you
doing?
doing?
Good, good. Hey, Taylor. Hey, Brian. Hey, everybody. Well, Shinji, I got your notification. Damn. How do you scrub the internet? Buddy. President, otherwise, darn it.
Yeah, Grok has noticed what you're doing and has, it's done some noticing, I guess.
I'm Shilling from Map Thieves. They'll never elect me as president now. Thanks a lot.
Hey, if I went and tried to find people on TikTok to talk with or debate with, could y'all like interface between it?
No.
Like Alan, could you interface between TikTok and
No.
X? No.
No.
Well, how does
No.
Sacred do it?
He has a phone or he has like two different phones that he does it with. He relays the audio to them or whatever. I don't have that set up.
Also, at this point, I can barely work TikTok. So like I have to do this. I have to do this weird phone interplay where I stream my phone and then use my phone, or you can't like interact or join spaces or participate or be a speaker, let alone use your camera, stream, or share or anything.
You mean TikTok's still a thing? I thought we were blowing that thing up.
Well, I think Trump canceled it and then pretended to uncancel it to build street cred real quick, and then it was like, "Woohoo! Look what I did! I saved TikTok." I think it was down for like 6 hours, and I think 100,000 people posted videos of them losing their minds, and then they restored it with a message that was like, "Behold, Savior Trump has saved you." Like, here's TikTok, but don't forget to thank Trump. And then everyone on the platform was like, "Thank God for Trump." Dude, it was the weirdest thing I've seen in a while, but I guess you see one of those every week or so now, right?
I mean, thank God for Trump. I mean, what are you going to do without TikTok? I mean, seriously, who's going to get your information now?
But talk about the Hegelian dialectic, creating your own problem solution manufacturing jerk off cycle, right? Be like, close the thing, like farm the outrage because the thing's closed, send an email to reopen the thing. Ha behold, save the day, like Trump saved TikTok. Like, how easy was that? Like, it's so funny.
Man, that kind of sounded like, close down the country, tell everybody to go home and lose their jobs, and then tell them they can go back to work and claim job growth. Yeah, same plan.
I think
Or
it
how
was just a
about
plan to shut TikTok down long enough so they could, fix their programming and get it correct, so they bring it back online.
Well, lucky for us, God is in control. So, all these losers, they're going to lose in time, just a matter of time.
Do you think God likes TikTok?
Say that again.
You think God likes TikTok?
Well, I mean, I think God neither likes nor dislikes anything, but I think that God loves everybody.
So he loves TikTok, Lily? Wow.
what about
Well,
Jews though?
remember,
But God hated Esau.
God hated what?
Esau.
Esau.
Yeah. That's what the Bible says. But I think it had to do with like genetic corruption, like the
I
Nephilim.
mean, nobody liked that guy, though.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
I
think
haven't
that God
read good
might.
things about him.
And then
Yeah,
nobody liked all his descendants or something.
exactly.
Well, God might dislike things that people do, but I don't think God will ever dislike his own creatures. We're all dislike.
Specifically aren't that and are the opposite of that and work to subvert, corrupt, invert, and destroy that or whatever. But yeah, it's not those people.
Oh,
But
they're
don't you,
gonna get their karma. Nobody escapes karma, trust me.
Then we agree, Liliana. I think we can be friends still.
but don't you think that God likes that we communicate with each other? I mean, maybe he doesn't like TikTok per se, but all the ways that we've created ways of communicating with one another. I think he likes that. I think he likes that we like what we're doing on the flat earth space, talking about creation, talking about what's true and what isn't. I think he really likes that we do that.
Well, I would say that I know that they try to stop us from doing that. And in my usual experience, the opposite of what they want is usually the right thing. So even if you didn't know any better or have a conscience or know that, inherently the communication and spreading of actual good idea evolution and the building of networks and community and stuff like that, even if you didn't know it, the fact that they didn't want you to do it just makes you want to do that anymore. So yeah, I think you're probably right.
Mr. Xavier, we better hear from you tonight. We haven't heard from you in a while. Well, I haven't.
That's true. We need more Xavier.
Without a doubt, lovely. I've been listening more than I'm chiming in these days. You learn a lot more.
Well,
Dude,
we
we
also
miss you,
need to
Dave.
learn from you.
Well, all the rest of us learn less, so.
Shout out to the TikTok last night, guys. I think that was dope. Was that your first run? No way, that was your first.
Last night was our first live stream that we did, yeah.
Okay, yo,
And then
pretty dope.
and
That's pretty
before,
dope for a dope.
yeah, and then the
Well,
day before
Taylor,
we did 3 hours on someone else's live stream.
Yeah, invading and hosting is like a different. You gotta play like home and away games, and you're over there, right?
but Taylor's got the right idea. You got to kind of make provocative titles and all that.
Yeah. So listen, following that idea, right? I think that objectively we should use Taylor as bait and send her in there so she can be unassumingly targeted as they like to, and then like we should swoop up on the back panel and just all of a sudden request after they get all like crazy and try to attack her on whatever point they try to pull. And like she's good, so she'll be able to hold her own for a while. But like I think that the fact that she's sweet and innocent and unassuming, they just love to like, oh, let me get this flirt, right? It just builds their blood energy, so we can use that to like rile them up, because I think we did that one time and it was to great effect. Like the dude was super confident and arrogant, and 10 minutes of hearing Alan speak and the dude was silent. And then Sacred was so excited because like the back channel was like going crazy. He was asking for help and support, and then SOSs. There was a globe signal going off. No one was answering. Everyone who was gonna like support him was there and watching in destruction and silence, right? And they were just refusing to help. And that I think was a different experience for the people on TikTok because they just let us talk and present and talk, and then they complained about us talking, right? And then we politely let them speak. But then eventually it got to a point where they were overloaded, and then they just interrupted incessantly until Alan was like, "Fuck this," and left. And they were like, "Balls, we win again," right? But it was definitely a progression of, oh, well, this isn't satellites or on balloons. Like, what do I say to this? So it's gonna be fun on TikTok. I guess is my point.
Well, Taylor, you better put on those fake lashes, some lipstick, and some rouge. Get going. Let's go.
Let's send Nick and Liliana. Actually, that's a different. Yeah, maybe that'll work too.
We should send in Lily as well, the ambassador of Flat Earth.
I just got that idea as well.
All right, one blonde, one brunette. That might work. Who knows?
Because, dude, space audits is already known, right? I think they call you space because they're too. I think they can't see audit, so they don't read truncated words. But like when you come into a space, they're like, "Oh shit, fun's over." And then they're like, "Who's that other guy?" And then like, "You? Oh, I think I heard that name before." Shit, right? And then they just silent.
Hey, Orwellian has his hand up, buddies.
Yo,
speak, bro.
Yeah, what's up, Orwellian? Just jump in, bro.
What's going on, guys? What are we talking about tonight? I just heard Alan rage quit a TikTok space, dude. I haven't seen you rage quit shit since T-Dubs fucking got too much mic time on a Flat Earth Friday, and you were like, I can't fucking do it. I can't do it, man. He had to go. He's like, I'm still recording this shit, but fuck you guys. I'm out of here.
I remember that.
Do it.
They got super exhausted and beat up, and they were so screeching that after no one would support them, they just immediately started interrupting and talking down, like, "Well, listen, let me tell you something that you don't know about nothing that's related," right? And he was like, "Nah." But there was some discrepancy on whether you should stay to get berated and then removed or whatever to the benefit of each. But we're still learning.
Nah, but to Alan's credit, man, like when he gets pissed off and he's got to go, it's because somebody is going from topic to topic to topic, and it turns into this. So you're a flat earther, so explain everything about existence ever in about 18 seconds, and if you can't, it's a gotcha. And it's like, dude, fuck you. Like, pump the brakes on that, dude. Let's stick to the subject.
Dude, it's funny when Witsit tries to do all that and gets it off though. The concept of everything. I think we made a video about it with a rapidly shifting. No, not we. Like someone else made a video of rapidly shifting video scenes of him explaining the retardedness of atoms and breaking down everything and materialism, going from geocentrism, destroying the Copernican principle, doing a matter of philosophy, breaking down science, doing materialism. And you were like, whoa, and it's 4 minutes, and you're like, oh man, dude just explained everything, sort of.
I think Witsit needs to create his own salad dressing and just hand it out to these people that fail with the globe signal on this word salad stuff, dude. Just 5-gallon jugs of Witsit's own word salad dressing for everybody that likes to invoke that. I'd appreciate that. I think you can make a couple bucks on it.
Man, I tell you what, man, hearing them do that, I think it was episode 75, 76, 77, right about there. He was trying to get a drink of water for so long. All right, let me explain this to you. I got to get a drink of water. Well, 10 different people. It's like, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, it's funny. Like, get the man some water.
Hey, we gotta
Alan,
get. Sorry, I was gonna say we gotta get mics to Galatrax, Kat, Sam, Mister.
Alan, do you have a computer and a phone?
Yes.
So then on the computer, you could be on TikTok and then you could share it on the phone or vice versa. Like a cool TikTok debate. Would you be willing to do that?
Let me think about how that would work.
Okay.
How do
I saw one or two on earlier.
How do I merge the two though? So
You could I don't know how to merge them. You'd have to ask Sacred, but all I know is that you could be having a conversation on TikTok and just leave your mic unmuted for Twitter just so people could hear.
Yeah, I don't think they
Right.
Sacred was doing a live feed or anything. It was just a voice over the microphone. So.
No, he was doing it live. Like he was interacting with people on TikTok, and then
Well, I mean, he was